What's going on, Faded Culture? I'm Adrian and Barron, and we're back with another tutorial. Today we're going to be running down the steps on a very simple haircut. I'm going to show y'all how to do a number 2 on top with the high ball fade. Also guys, we are approaching that 300k subs, so stay tuned. Of course, we are going to do a giveaway, so stay tuned for that. We will be posting the details on that very soon. As always guys, give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and let's jump right into this tutorial. Turned off. Was it even recording? That was a good intro too. I ran through that shit. Sorry about that guys. We thought our B-roll camera turned off towards the end, and we just wanted to make sure that it actually recorded. Fortunately for me, it did. But yeah guys, we got a 2 and a ball fade as usual. All the steps and tools will be in the description down below for y'all. We're gonna start again with the number 2, lever completely closed. And my clippers are 0 gap, so one thing that I do want to add is when I do put a guard on it, you never want to close them all the way. I open the lever just slightly, that way the teeth are not grinding against the guards. And just go over the top a few times, make sure you are cutting against the grain. Another thing I wanted to point out is consult with your clients guys, especially new clients. You always want to ask if they have any scars, scabs, or moles in their head, just so you're aware and you don't rip one out or do anything like that. Recomb the hair, reset it, and then go over it 2 or 3 times guys. I always want to make sure I get all the frizz out from the top. As for the fade, I usually start my mid fades at that corner of that temple peak. For my high fades, I start them about a quarter above that. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. Using my WAHL seniors, I'm gonna close the lever and make my first guideline, keeping a small brush on my opposite hand to then clean the surface after every few strokes. Like I mentioned guys, my clippers are 0 gap. I do have a link down in the description on how we 0 gap our clippers. Make sure y'all check that out if y'all haven't yet already 0 gapped y'all's clippers. I highly suggest y'all do, especially for these steps to work. And yeah, just run that guideline all around. Try to stay consistent with it. Be easy on the wrist. Don't dig it too much in. Go over it a few times if you need to. Try to get these guidelines as clean as possible. Just make sure that you end up at that same temple peak area on the opposite side. View him from the front to make sure that your guideline aligns. For the second guideline, we're going to open the lever completely and we're going to take it up about a finger's width. Again, just being easy with the wrist and flicking out towards the top. The easier you are with the wrist, the easier it is going to be to remove these guidelines when we start working our way down. I know some people have mentioned that 3/4 position doesn't remove them. This is probably why guys, you're digging in your guidelines a little too much. But again, that 3/4 position is just a rule of thumb. I use it about like 97% of the time. Sometimes I do have to open or close it just slightly. As for my third guideline, we're going to use a number 1. Again, take it up about a finger's width. Make sure the lever is completely open. As usual, when I'm setting up my canvas, my lever stays open. The only thing that changes are the guards. Make sure that your guidelines run parallel to the one underneath so your fade is consistent throughout. And this is where I mainly start to use the corners of it just to work my way around it. And that's pretty much it guys. Again, just make sure that it aligns just like the other side. By now you should have the first guideline that we created with the 0, second that we created with the half, and the third that we created with the number 1 guard lever completely open. We're going to start with that one and work our way down. Using my 1.5 guard, I'm going to close the lever just slightly, putting it into a 3/4 position. It's somewhere in between halfway and fully open. This is what I was talking about earlier. If you were easy with your wrist and setting up the guidelines, this 3/4 position should take it out. But again, it is just a rule of thumb. So if you for whatever reason have to close it a little bit more or open it a little more, then go ahead and do so guys. but as you can see, it's working perfectly fine here. Now we're gonna work on the second guideline coming down. Using my half guard, I'm gonna keep that lever in that 3/4 position. I'm literally not gonna touch the lever at all. Just change out the guard, and I'm gonna attack that second guideline using mainly the corners of the clipper. I am coming at an angle just so I make sure I'm cutting against the grain. And this step does create a faint line right above it. So we're gonna go ahead and remove that with my one guard, and we're gonna keep the lever in that 3/4 position. Do not take this half guard any higher. We're gonna change guards and now use the one guard, keeping the lever though in that 3/4 position, and remove that faint line that the half guard created. Again guys, all the steps are in the description down below in case you want to follow along that way. We try to simplify everything as best as we can for y'all guys. And finally, to remove the last line, the first initial line that we started with, we're gonna go ahead and start with the lever completely closed, then open it halfway, and then open it completely. We're gonna use that 3-step process on just this side of the head. I like to break this last line into sections, guys. I'm gonna just focus on his right side of the head. This last line is very tedious, so I like to take my time with it and give it as much detail as possible. So now I'm opening the lever halfway. Again, I did start with the lever completely closed. And finally, we're gonna open up the lever completely. And if you're scared that you're gonna take the fade up too high, guys, use mainly the corners of the clipper as I am doing right here. This is just gonna remove those dark spots without taking the fade up higher than we need to. Again guys, practice those corners, man. We're pretty much done. Now I'm gonna focus just on the back side. Again, repeating that 3-step process, starting with the lever close. We're gonna open it halfway and then fully open. I'm gonna just take each of those notches up just slightly. And it is important, guys, that you do keep that small brush on the opposite hand to then clean the surface out after every few strokes. Very, very important, guys. Very simple process, guys, but we're not gonna stop until we cover almost all of our clients, because I want to show y'all that these steps do work on almost every haircut and every type of hair. And again, guys, we are approaching that 300,000 subscriber mark. Huge milestone for us, guys. We very, very much appreciate it, man. We appreciate all the love and support that we've got up to this point. We are gonna do a giveaway, so stay tuned for that. We're probably gonna announce it either on the next video or in our Instagram. So if you're not already following our Instagram pages, those are linked down below as well. Now with my half guard, we're gonna do something called lever play. Just because I'm gonna adjust as I go, removing any dark spots that I need to and just touching up anything that I need to. And to develop an eye for this, it does take time, guys, so stay patient with the process. You can always step back and view them from afar, or even try viewing them from a different angle, like off the mirror. Now using my trimmer in this forward position just to get a lot closer to the scalp. And then we're going to go ahead and turn our trimmer around and remove that faint line that created. And it is important that you use it in that forward position. As you'll see right now, when I begin to remove the bottom hair, I'm gonna have a small faint line, and it's gonna basically be used as a guideline for my electric shaver, so I don't take the fade up any higher than I need to. And yes, my trimmers are zero gapped as well, guys. All my clippers are. I always zero gap everything. So yeah, just use it in that forward position and make sure that you are testing the clippers on your forearm, guys, every time you zero gap them. Last thing you want to do is overly adjust them and scratch or pull your client's hair. And this is the faint line that I was speaking of. By using the trimmer in that forward position, we were able to create this distinction right here. Fairly simple yet highly effective, guys. And always ask your clients whatever they want to do with their facial hair. Ask them if they want to clean up their eyebrows and remove any extra nose hair or ear hair that they might have, guys. They always appreciate the details. So yeah, begin to shave the scalp. Now we know exactly how high up to take that electric shaver, but when you do approach that faint line, turn your electric shaver around like I did right here and use it as if it was a clipper, using mainly the corners of it, again, just so we don't take the fade up any higher than we need to. And I like to use the back of my fingers to feel the direction of the grain, just to ensure that I'm always shaving against the grain. And again, just cleaning up all the facial hair. Gonna go ahead and shave it all off for him. As for the edge up, guys, always suggest that you start in the middle and then just work your way to one side. View him from the front, readjust and recalibrate by starting again from the middle, then working to the other side. And right here, we're just gonna redo the part that he already had. Applying a little bit of shave gel. And a tip that I do have for y'all is, after you apply the shave gel, guys, add a little bit of water just to prolong the life of the shave gel. Here I'm snapping off the ends of my blade just to make it a little bit easier when putting it into my razor. Faded Culture matte razor, guys, link down below. You can shop them at fadedculture.co. And you always want to make sure that you're using your opposite hand to help stretch that skin out, just to ensure a softer, smoother shave. And honestly, guys, my blade position does vary. For the most part though, I do have it exposed, but I have seen, like, if I'm doing any thick mustaches or heavy beards, I do like to tuck my blade all the way in. But for the most part, I usually do have it exposed, just like you're seeing here. And practice your reverse hand shaving, guys. I think it's important, that way you don't have to recline them and do all that extra stuff just to shave his edge up. Here I'm dusting them off. Make sure that you get every single piece of hair off of them, guys. Adding a little bit of hair enhancement, and yes, I do dilute mine with a little bit of water. And even though the hair is very short on top, I'm still gonna add a little bit of product just to make the fade pop that much more. Here you guys have the before, and here's the after, guys. A number 2 on top with the high ball fade. I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial, guys. As usual, let us know down in the comments below what y'all like or didn't like, and if y'all took something new out of this. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Give us a thumbs up if you did learn something. Thank y'all for staying till the end. With that said, I got one more thing to add. If you have been thinking about starting a vlog channel, let us know down in the comments below if that's something y'all would like to see. That way we can show more of behind the scenes and stuff that we do outside of this barber chair. So let me know again down in the comments below if that's something y'all interested, and we'll go ahead and start that up for y'all guys. With that said, peace.